What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today I am bringing you some card battles from the boss arenas. This is Blastapopolus, and I don't think I've actually really played that much card battles, in terms of card battles here in this arena. I've definitely played quite a bit of card battles in both Dribbloon Cave and Vortex, but not much in this arena here or in balloon areas. So kind of had to figure out a little bit of different strategy here. You can kind of get a little bit of a gist for what my cards are if you just look at them over the video. And I don't know. It was a really weird setup. Didn't really have any eco cards in. You can see here I'm sending a rush at him, round 5 rush here. And he's not doing that much to defend, so I'm going to kidnap his Buccaneer there and actually take him out. So don't expect to get that kind of thing every time you play with this deck. You can see he wasn't the greatest card battles. But that's kind of, I don't know. I just have a bunch of different rushes. I've got round 5 rush, round 7 kind of rushes. Round 9 is definitely kind of a bigger round, and then up from there. So this is definitely a pretty rush heavy deck, because Buneris is often a little bit harder to defend on. It's got the pretty central water location, but it's a pretty decent spot for a sub, but it's not amazing. It's not like a spot on the Vortex where you put one sub down there and you're basically good to go for quite a while. Here you can still get some balloons through. Like for normal battles, if you send a pretty decent sized Rainbow Rush, you can definitely take out your opponent. So I'm kind of doing the same thing. Round 5, that was basically almost an all-in there. Because I sold all my towers and rushed him. I got him down to 19 lives. But he just managed to get that flashbang ninja up at the back and barely survive. And so I'm fairly weak right now to a rush, but I'm not going to play defense. I'm just going to keep on rushing because he is very close to dead. And he actually goes down to 1 life. And so that is kind of annoying, but also kind of fun just to add a little bit of extra suspense to this, or extra drama to this, or whatever you want to say. He's buying and selling a lot of towers, and that's in general not a great idea. Kind of just tends to drain you a little bit more. Right here I'm trying to get up the reactor, because I'm really weak to any sort of rush right now. And I don't want to die with him only having 1 life left. That would be kind of annoying. So I'm going for camo pinks here, and boosting even, because I only need 1 life to get through, or one balloon to get through. But his Buccaneer does a pretty decent job that he puts down. Balloon just as well, which is obviously going to clean up quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and steal his cannon ship there, his Buccaneer cannon ship, and he just barely gets that Fire Wizard down at the end, boosts. Wasn't necessarily, not sure if he needed a boost, but with 1 life left, kind of have to be safe. Yeah, so he sends at me, steals my reactor sub. I didn't necessarily have to use the Jugger launch there. I wasn't really thinking, and so I did that as well as putting down the plasma shooter, which was kind of not necessary to do both of those, but I ended up taking him out there. He wants to go again, but I don't really tend to replay. I was actually trying to get on the leaderboards, get to the top 100. I think I just barely missed out. I was like 120th place. I really did not play that much this week. I was just trying to clutch it out right at the end, but I didn't manage to, so kind of sad. Not really that sad, but kind of disappointed that I didn't manage to clutch it out there at the end. but it's okay. So during the first couple matches I played in this arena, I was bringing along a couple later game cards that I really didn't need, because I had just gotten done playing in Vortex, and in Vortex it often goes round like 19 plus. So I think I have footage from that. I'll probably upload that soon. So it was completely different from this. I'm playing extremely risky in in 5 battles, and I think in almost all 5 of them, I just basically all-out rush multiple times. So that's very different from how I played in Vortex. In Vortex, I just played defense basically the whole time. Got up some eco, put up some farms so that I could sell them and defend rushes for my opponents, and worked pretty well. Obviously, if you're really pushing and trying to get some keys, get medallions, it's better to go for the quick wins, but I wasn't really doing that too much. I was just kind of playing for fun. So it didn't really matter if I got a quick win or just a little bit longer win. So I'm just trying to go for the experience. So right now, he's got a semi-decent defense. He's got basically the same defense as I have. I'm going to send him a little... I don't know why I said oops there, but... Oh, maybe I accidentally sold his one thing there. So I ended up sending a rush because he did sell his glaive... whatever that's called, bionic boomer. And that lead and pink rush on round 9 is very deadly. I take out a lot of people with that rush because it's a little bit earlier than a lot of people expect, and it's a lot of balloons going through, and they're really fast. So, especially with kidnap, paired with kidnap, it's a very deadly rush. It can be. I think right at the beginning of this video, I was 4-5, so that's obviously not very good. I think part of the problem was I did play a couple battles earlier. I just wasn't playing that well, so yeah, that just kind of hurt my record, I guess, a bit. I did end up resetting my record again, which is the second time I've done it ever, and I did it back-to-back weeks. Partly because I bought like $10 worth of stuff on Steam, or I prepaid for $10 worth of stuff on Steam, and so I had like $3 left, so I just decided to reset it again, just cause. So he's doing a pretty decent job here, keeping me on the defensive. Got a couple lives through. Doing a fair amount of eco here early. But I tend to not mind on this map when other people do eco early. Because it just means that they're not going to have that much money later on. Depends how long the matches go. I think the latest any match that I was in was maybe like round 18 out of 10 matches or whatever I played today. So it's really not that late game. So in my opinion, a lot of blue eco doesn't necessarily work that well unless you just do a ton early and then kind of stop. But I prefer farms on this map, and being just super aggressive. But he does have a really pretty solid defense right now. I kind of thought about going with trying to discard and get that pink rush and send that to him, but he's got a pretty solid defense. It probably wouldn't do much. It would just leave me a little bit more vulnerable than I would like, and not really put that much pressure on him. So you can see him double, kind of thinking about it again, but I decided not to. Which I think was probably a good idea. Personally speaking, I almost always bring both Jugger Launch and Kidnap to battles that I play. You can see right here he's about to use the Jugger Launch right there, and that allowed him to take out a pretty substantial rush that I sent at him. Wasn't very expensive, but it could have been very painful. So there I'm sending it again because he used his ability, Juggle Launch thing, and he's not actually able to really take it out. He got, I think, 2 shots off with that sniper, and those were the 2 shots that saved him, because I believe you leak 20 lives for each lead, so he just barely survived. If he would have not been able to get those shots off, then he would have gone down right there. But did a good job, took care of those there. So this is going a little bit later than most of the matches. It's round 18, but he's got a fairly weak defense to camo, and specifically lead camo. So I send that at him. It's one of my favorite rushes in card battles, and take him out. So playing against this guy here, both going to start out in exactly the same manner, same card and everything, same spot. And I think that happens less in card battles than it does in normal battles. This is something I talk about a lot, kind of just games being stale and really similar. And I don't know, that's one of the things I like about card battles. You can have a very similar deck, but it's going to be different how you play it, because you're not going to get the same cards as your opponent gets. Not going to get the same order, and so even if you play the deck very similarly, in general, you're going to probably play that a little bit differently during the specific game, which just keeps it interesting. So I'm going to send him a pretty decent rush, and I'm actually going to boost as well. What I noticed, I think, partway through the games was that I was really just not spending my boosts, and that's partly because the battles are just ending so quickly. So I just kind of made a conscious effort to use my boosts more. Not unnecessarily, but if they're going to be 30 lives or something that leak through, it's generally seemed like it would be better for me to boost and save those lives. So he stole my farm. That's, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that. Personally, I'm really happy whenever someone steals the farm from me. Cost him 1,000. It does mean that I don't get that money from it, but I really don't think I'm going to make 1,000 off of that farm in a couple rounds, and I'm not going to really have that farm for very long. So you can see here, I'm kind of going with an all-out rush here. I sold my farm, or sold my only defense, and got him down to only 65 lives. And right now, I'm in a terribly weak spot. And you can see that if he hadn't stolen that farm, I might not have sent that rush. Or if I would have sent that rush, I would have had to sell it. So he's basically at 1,000. And then if I were to sell the farm, then that would lose me some money. So, I don't know. Just in general, it's not a great idea. This is a really close ending right there. He sends me some ceramics there. I used the jugger launches to take out those couple balloons that were close to the exit. And then I take them out with the camo lead card that I love so much. I like to bring that card whenever I can. When there's a map with a little bit of water in a good spot, I like to bring that. And I generally use it at least as much for the rush as I do for the reactor sub, because the reactor sub is really good as well. But the camo leads are often really hard to pop, especially when you have kidnap to kind of make it just that much more difficult. So this is the last battle here. I ended up starting to bring the glaive thrower. Not really for defense, but more just because I was realizing that a lot of my opponents didn't have very good defenses for the first couple rounds, like by round 5 when you can send that rush. they really often only had 1 or 2 towers, and so that's a good way of making them buy some more or do something in order to defend that rush, or make them lose some lives, or both. And I don't remember exactly what it replaced, but I think it just replaced the card that I was not using very much. I also added the Glaive Lord card. I don't actually think I ended up using it, but I do like that rush. It's like 100 white camo balloons for only 2,500, which is pretty decent. It's also a really good card on defense if you decide to use it. See, I was kind of not sure whether I wanted to send that rush at him or play defense, and made the right decision, sent the rush at him, and took him out there. So, those are the kind of the rushes that I've been using, kind of how I've been playing. Really risky, and taking out my opponents nice and early with either the pink rush or the lead rush or even the green rush. So, hopefully this will help you a little bit. Someone commented on one of my videos that he wanted to see some of the cards that I use, and so those are my suggestions in general. So I hope you come back and check out some more videos later. That was pretty damn good.